Hello again. Welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Vintage Story. Now, it hasn't been a long time since the last episode. I've basically just been getting some stuff together, throwing some resin on the ground. It's all good. But I've been getting together basically a lot of materials that we're going to need for getting started with some helve hammers. But I am dangerously low on fat. I think this is all I've got at present. So there's a pretty good chance we will have to go hunting today. And it does seem to take 9 pieces of brown coal for 20 ingots. Because I was kind of keeping an eye on it, and I mean, it was really, really close. I still hope Vintage Story one day, they get channels on here for like transferring your molten liquid. You know, it's going to look great. And it'll also be extremely useful when doing large batches like this. My crucibles are cooling down. Just trying to get all this poured. It takes a little bit. There we go. This has already turned to soft copper just in the time it took me to get around all of this. But look at all the beautiful glowing copper that we've got. Copper Mountain. Yes, please. Alright, let me throw these back in there. Those will be ready to set up for another batch. But let's go ahead and get our windmill rotor. I'm going to go ahead, actually, and just make 4 of these for now. So that we've got them. I'm probably going to have to go hunting either way. Okay, I'm going to have to go down and get sticks, I think, because I don't have many left between making tools and doing clay stuff. I don't really have, like, any sticks left. I think I had, like, 17 or something. And while we're at it, axles. Yeah, this is pretty much where all of my my fat's about to go. So while we're down there, we might go hunting as well. Our baby ram grew up, and it is a male. So we've got 2 males and a female right now. So I am going to purge the generation 1, and then later on I'll have to get them back breeding. But I'm kind of hoping I'm gonna wait for the sun to come up. Before I go out to do it, but I am going to see about maybe hunting some polar bears up around the mountain, because those tend to be a very good source of fat. Now, you can go at this point, but we should get a lot of good meat too. Okay, 14 meat, not bad. And I already killed my pigs, so those aren't really an option at the moment. Oh, here we go. No, don't run. Because all I'm going to do is just wait for you to stop running and then peg you to death. There we go. That's what we really want to be hunting, because they tend to have a lot of fat. And all of them have good weight, so yeah, 2 fat, that's not bad at all. Are there any wolves in this dense brush? There used to be wolves back here, I thought. Nope. There we go. Ha 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 ha. There was in fact a wolf den here. And 2 fat, I like it. Wow, look at all the shiitake. Just loaded down. Get you some. There we go. The bow is so good for hunting, though. A little bit better during the day, to be fair, but here we go. You just kind of want to... Hey, God. Don't even think about it. Okay, this probably isn't the best idea during winter, but that's alright. I need fat. I'm doing all the bad things. Swimming during the winter, hunting during the night. I'm just doing it all. No, you don't. No. Why you gotta do this? There we go. You're not getting away. I need your fat. Okay, the sun's starting to come back up, so I'm going to head over to the frozen lake now, because we should be able to see pretty far, and that tends to be a pretty good place for hunting. Oh, there's a polar bear. I'll take you guys a little bit closer. We have a polar bear. If I had to guess, it's a male. Yeah. Hey! Don't worry about it. Just, yeah. There we go. That's a bit high. That's a bit low. Oh. Thought you were reacting to me. See him because all that brush. I've shot arrows all over the place. These guys tend to have a lot of health, but if you can pillar, they're actually extremely dumb to pillaring. Like, they'll run up, but they don't seem to realize they can't get up there. That's how I killed one with the club that one time. They make such sad sounds. There we go. Finally down. Took a lot of arrows. But yeah, if you just pillar up a few blocks, they'll tend to, like, hang out and let you... It's actually a low creature weight. Oh, we got a decent amount of fat, though. And huge hides. But yeah, they'll just kind of let you beat them to death. I guess that's what he was doing, was killing... Killing a bunch of animals over here. Up to 23 fat and closing in on 2 stacks. We've got to try to get salt this year, because it would make these big hunts pay off a whole lot more if we could salt our meat. And we also need it for starting into cheese, of course. So ping. I love that ping sound too. There's just something about it. It's like such a rewarding sound. Boom. There's 2 of you. I'll kill you, and the other one can stay with its mate, I think. Now I could probably drop that rabbit and finish off the stack of meat. We got meat. Okay. Sorry, rabbit. I have to leave half your meat behind. But goodbye, frigid snow. Hello, base. So, I need to get to making some pies, I think. Okay, let's go ahead and we're going to make ourselves a table real quick. There we go. We'll put it, I don't know, right here is fine. And then let's go ahead and get ourselves some dough. 10, that'll make 5 pies. That should be good. Well, and then we'll do tops on some of these. Yeah, so we might actually end up making more. So then let's just shift right click. We're going to put down our pie crust. And then we're going to be filling this pie. It has to all kind of fit into the same food group. We're going to do meat. We're going to bump this up. We're going to be doing 8 meat in this pie. And then we're going to take our dough. We're going to put in a top to this. And then we can change the way we want it to look. Like if we want these nice decorative pies, we're going to do that. And you can see up there that it's 960 saturation worth of grain and 3,360 saturation worth of protein. So let's go ahead and grab that. I need to fire these up real quick, because I've only got the 3. Now we got red meat pie. There we go. We'll go ahead and pop in another one. And another one. And another one. There we go. That one is done. That one is done. That one is done. Okay. And that's probably going to be enough pies. This is going to be good for a few days, so these are fresh for quite a bit longer. Yeah, let's keep making pies. I'll tell you what. They keep for a while. This is probably, honestly, the best way for me to store my meat at the moment, is just turn it all into pies. I've got so many pies. Alright, we will not go hungry anytime soon. These are going to keep for 3 months, and it means we're probably going to have food for the entirety of the 3 months. I think this is probably the best way for us to go about using it. I think this will probably just go to waste. I don't do small batches like that, so... Alright, well, while we're waiting for our pies to finish up, let's go ahead and get ourselves some windmill sails. There is 3. It's not enough to get a full one going, though. But what we can do is we can put down our pie, and we can just right-click with our knife and cut off some slices of our pie. And now we have 4 meals, and you can see that each slice of this, 240 saturation, 840 on protein, 240 on grain. So not bad. I'm going to put those in there for now, though, because I do still have 2 meals of this. But that is going to bump our grain back up. So, and you can make pies out of anything you want, pretty much. But like I said, it just has to be the same food group. So, but what I was thinking is behind the smith have an area basically where our cogs and stuff go, so we can walk back there, and there'll be a lot of movement and everything. Because by the end of it, we're going to have a lot of windmills feeding into that area from around that edge of the mountain. We'll still have some in the ravine, you know, but I can put a lot of my like clustered windmills back over on that side, because we're going to have a bunch powering the smith. But I think we'll try to space them out across the mountain and maybe do some walkways and stuff like that. Yeah, actually, if we run it out to here, which I know it's going to look kind of funny right now, but I actually have a plan to run out some supports on this. I just hope the wind here is like decent. Like anything else with mechanical power, it's not something we're going to be able to run like 24/7, but we'll have to keep an eye on that and see if it starts spinning up after a little bit. Now we're in business. Let's go ahead and bring that back. Okay, now what I'd like to do, which I've got to patch that's fine. And then we'll have this kind of run down as like a support for this. It's not going to be just dangling out here long term, but for now it will. Okay, so right there, and then I want to go up, and I may have to end up patching the mountain a little bit here, but that's fine if I need to. Whereabouts are we? Oh, we got wind. We have wind. Okay, let me figure out exactly where we're at, because there's a spot up here that I was wanting to use, and we're actually pretty close to it. I'm going to come over just a little bit more and then have it run out. I need to come up 1, 2, 3 blocks. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, so right here, we're going to run this out. And then we've got to basically plug all this stuff up. So, and we got to make helve hammers. Okay. And then let's go ahead, put those on. I had to drop 1 stick. Ooh-hoo. Ooh-hoo. Up here we're 47%. Okay, so I'm going to need a little more linen. You can already tell we're going to need to grow a lot of flax this upcoming year. And try to keep expanding on that. Okay, so we got a full-size windmill there. Full-size windmill there. This one is probably going to be running a little bit higher on wind speed generally, because it is higher elevation. But okay. Now what we're going to do, like I said, we got to bring all this back. Now at this point, we're going to be setting this up with just 2 for right now, so there will be some changes later as far as probably placement and just as far as just general changes to things. And plus this whole section back here, eventually it's going to have to get cleared out at least a ways. So all of this. But there's a couple different ways that we could go about bringing this back. We could go about bringing it back as one central line, which is probably what I'm going to do for now. But long term, I would like to have this come back as sort of its own line, and that way we can have the big central cogs back in kind of where our room's going to be that has all the cogs. Because, you know, this is so high up and so far back that we won't be able to see it, you know, if we brought the cog out back here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, which probably bring it here instead, and then bring it down. And I'll definitely have to end up making more axles. Let's go ahead and get a bit more axles. Luckily these are cheap now. And let's also get, while we're at it, we're going to need angled gears aplenty here. Actually, do we want to run it here, or do we want to run it forward by a couple more? Because this would honestly be kind of an awkward place to have the large cog anyways. Yeah, let's go ahead. We'll run it up just a little bit more. So we'll plan to have the large cog in right here, or the first large cog. I think I'm going to bring it to here, and then this is going to come through. So some of this will kind of be behind the scenes, but once we have more resources and we can afford to do it, I'd like to have all this come back as individual shafts, and then go into a cog in that large chamber, or what's going to be that large chamber. So that way it's a little bit more visible, it looks a little bit nicer, but right now we're not going for looks on our axles just yet. Soon, but not just yet. Because I'm going to use pretty much all the resin that I had stockpiled for a year. I'm going to use it here, so. Okay, so we'll open that up. Alright, we are making progress. Now, at this point, I need wood, and I need to dump off some of this stuff too. We're getting there, because once we get these two connected, it's really not far to get it the rest of the way. Alright, let's go ahead and dig this over at this point. Let's go ahead and bring this up to there. Let's see. Okay, we're going to go ahead and make 4. I'll probably have to end up making more. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make 6. I'll still probably end up having to make more, but that'll be a better start than 4. Okay, so we're going to put an angled gear in right there, attach it there, and then we're just going to run this on back. I'm out of axles again. I am out of axles again. I'm going to have to go hunting again soon. Oh, gotta love it. I'm definitely going to have to go hunting again. There's another 16. We can at least make some progress. Okay, so we should be turning down here at this point. Once I figure out where down here is. Right there. And then we'll go ahead and attach some angled gears right there. So this is now turning. Beautiful. And we're going to bring this over. Okay, so now at this point, we are going to make ourselves, not a cog, a gear. We're going to make a large wooden gear. We need 4 large gear sections, which are just boards, sticks, bunch of resin. Because really, ideally, I was wanting 3 large gears, I think, because I was wanting to turn up the speed, and I don't know that we're going to be able to pull that off just yet. Okay, and then right here, let's put in an axle, bring this up, put in our large gear right here, and then we're going to put in our angled cogs right there. So now all of our power is going through here. Of course, it's going to be downgrading the speed because smaller gear turning, this is a faster speed. This is going to turn at the same speed. It's going to turn this axle slower, right? So we're actually going to be downgrading our speed here, but then we can upgrade it. Of course, it's going to take us some more large cogs, though, to do that. Alright, well, let's go ahead. See, I kind of just got to line everything up at this point, because this might actually be easy way to do this. Let's mark. Yeah, we're going to find out if we are even remotely close. And while we're at it, I should probably go get resin, because I can at least get 3 more. Yeah, we're actually going to be really close to where we need to come in at. Because ideally, this is where we would come in at. And actually, I think it's going to be lined up perfectly. Oh, wow. If so, that's going to be nice for us. Okay, we're actually right over here. So I was 1 block over. But that's okay. We can make that work. Actually, yeah, because I want angled gears. Yeah, so that will be... That'll be fine, yeah, because we'll just have an extra axle there. Okay, this is a long distance to run this. This is actually shaping up to be pretty expensive. Okay, so what we're going to do, let's see, ideally I would have large cogs in here. See how much, we've got 3 resin. I mean, I could pull it, because I know I've got 3 over there waiting for me. But that's only going to leave me with 1 resin, so I mean, I could farm resin, or I could just count on it being slow, but it working. Of course, I'm only going to be able to set up 1 helve hammer at the moment. Yeah, we're going to try to use as few angled gears as we can. Oh yeah, this is going to be insanely slow without... Because I was planning on upscaling the speed with some more large cogs. Well, let me go ahead and get... I'm going to have to farm more fat too, for sure. But depending, I may end up having to make another chisel. I'm going to need another, like, 20, probably. Well, I guess it's time to go back out hunting. I need to grab more resin. I'm going to check my other chest, though, because I think I never really sorted resin because I had it on the shelves, but then my shelves got filled, so I just started dumping it in places. So I need to check around. Aha! Yeah, I had more. Haha! The project chest. Thank goodness for the project chest. Oh, I got some more wood, too. Great. Alright, so we're up to 16. I might be able to swing something with that. That's a bit better anyways. What was it? How much for... it's 8. I could make 2 large wooden gears, but then I wouldn't have enough for the... helve hammer itself. I think that's going to be all the resin I have. So I may not be able to get it up to the speed that I really like it to be right now, but I can at least speed it up. Because coming in right now, it's going to be way too slow to do a whole lot with, really. Hey! And hunting with a bow is just, it's so good on here. Like, you almost hate to hunt without a bow. Hey, you can't take the heel, I'm sorry. I think, there we go. Not liable to have any fat on you, but I can at least try. There we go. Okay, we're up to our 10 lumps of fat now. I'm going to take a peek around. Yeah, because there's a lot of rams up here. And while I'm out, might as well. This area right here is actually like the best for rams. Hey. I knew she was there. I shouldn't have went up on it. A little bit high. There we go. Ping. Oh, don't run away. I've got too many bodies. There we go. I feel like they should probably run when they get hit by an arrow. At least run a ways away. And then maybe stop and rest. But no, we just ping them down. that's where the smith's at. So we're actually not very far from the top of the mountain at that point. This is, well, actually about right there is the level of the smith. So it's actually not very high up. Let's make ourselves some more axles and get this plugged up. Oh, that takes a lot of saw durability. I'm just hoping my chisel hangs in there just to get this plugged up. So what we're going to do, since we're going to do that, let's actually... And I've still got 8 resin, which is fine. That will be alright. Like I said, I want to make it faster, but this will be fine for now. Okay, so what we're going to do, let's bring this... we can actually kind of keep it on the same Y level. And we're going to go ahead and plug that up. So that's going to be turning, and then basically we just have to reverse what we did before. So we're going to have that there. Okay, so if we put in our angled gear... If we set it up right here, it'll turn just fine. So, you know, if stuff's not working, it may have to do with the direction that everything's spinning and the direction that it wants to spin that angled gear. But that's why we made some extra angled gears, because I figured we were going to have to do a little bit of finagling here. So, let's go ahead, set that up. And then what we're going to do is, honestly, we could bring it back here, bring it wide, and then bring it in, at least for now. We'll change everything up, of course, over time, but I think for right now, I think that's probably a better bet than bringing it back and then straightening it back out. Ideally, I'm going to want one more large gear to boost the speed even more. But as long as we're not coming in at this speed, because this is just painfully slow, this isn't bad. So we can make do with that. But I'm planning on long term doing some smoky quartz glass, and then having our like gears and axles and stuff behind that. Okay, so we are up to here. Perfect. And I need to come in basically right there. Actually, I need to push these helve hammers back by 1 from where I was going to put them. I was going to have the anvils here, but I think I want to push them back. I do think my chisel might just hang in there. Okay, angled gears in here. And then what we're going to do is run this over. Perfect. That's actually where I want it to go. We are good to go. Alright, so now at this point, we have to make a few things. We need to get ourselves a helve hammer base. And I'm also going to do some smithing in just a moment. But let's go ahead. Let's get a helve hammer base. This. That. And we need our toggle. It's just going to be... I'm going to have to make some more axles. Okay. Luckily, I think this is the last thing we got to do that takes resin. I'm going to be cutting it close on 5. I think it just takes 1 though. So we'll have just enough. There's our wooden toggle. We've got 21 durability. We made it, chisel. We made it. We're going to put that right there. That's going to continue spinning. Okay, now at this point, luckily my smith is packed full of drifters, because it couldn't be a better time for them to be packed full of drifters, because I need to smith things. Okay, so bare minimum right now, I'm going to need at least 2, and I need to go get my anvil. Yes, my collection of bodies, look, they're despawning. The nice thing about the helve hammer, it's going to cut down a lot on our hammer durability, and it's going to make plates for us for free. So, well, beyond the 2 ingot cost, you know. We're still going to have to use that, but... Alright. Will this be the last couple iron ingots that we make by hand? It just might be. Okay. So we're going to be making ourselves an iron helve hammerhead. And this is a 2 ingot thing, by the way. I should mention that. Okay. And as you can see, super easy to make. There we go. There's our iron helve hammerhead. Now at this point, this is just boards like so. There we go. And the nice thing about having all these helve hammers is we'll be able to display all kinds of fancy anvils up here later on. But let's go ahead. We're going to put our anvil down basically a block away from the toggle. Are you kidding me? We run out of wind right now. And I guess while we're waiting, I went ahead and got our blooms. So we got 22 blooms, but let's go ahead and fire up a couple fire pits. 80. After this is done, this will be 80 copper ingots, and I still got 2 more runs. I feel like I already need more. I feel like I should have at least 3 times as many ingot molds. So I might try to figure out something so I can just have like 160 ingots going at once. Copper Mountain's going to need it, I think. Oh yeah, and back here there's a copper deposit. I haven't mined it yet. We'll mine it at some point. But okay, so let's go ahead. Let's put our helve hammer in. My favorite sound in the game. And that's going to start working. So let's go ahead. Let's grab our torch. Let's grab our blooms. And we're going to go ahead and heat one of these up. Now, ideally, we would have 8 of these going, and we would have 8 blooms going at a time. So, I love that sound. I know some people don't like. I love it. That's why I want a bunch of these. Just king, 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 king. Just tons of hammering going on. My favorite sound in the game. I love the machine sounds in Vintage Story so much. Like the windmills sound great. The cairns sound great. The helve hammers, the pulverizers, everything just sounds so good. There we go. You're still going perfect. Now, while our bloom is heating up, which I don't know if I'll get all these poured before the bloom heats up. Probably not. Try to keep an eye on it from here. So we're going to pull this out and just throw it on there. And the helve hammer is going to start cleaning it for us. Whoops. You can see it breaking the bits off there. It's going to basically make an iron ingot. Now, in addition, of course, we could be processing ingots ourselves at the same time, and that's going to speed things up. But ideally, what we want is we want 8 helve hammers running, just processing down ingots. That way we can turn over a lot of ingots rather quickly. That's the goal anyways. And whenever the helve hammer gets done, it just tosses its ingot or its plate off to the side. So you will need to kind of bear that in mind, pick up your stuff, you know. And it doesn't toss it in a way where you could put hoppers around it or anything like that. It just kind of just throws it down on the anvil usually. So you can't automate collection or anything from that. Well, I guess technically you maybe could if you used water to push it. That is a possible option there. Let's go ahead and grab that. We'll put that one on there, and you can see that it finished off an ingot for us at this point. So go ahead and throw another one in there. Now, the only things that the helve hammer can make is ingots and plates. So you're not going to be able to make like pickaxes and stuff with this. It's purely just for bashing things together. We'll make a plate here in just a moment. Now, you can get these things moving really, really quickly. Every time it hits, it does an operation. It either moves a voxel or it breaks a piece of the slag there. And you could pick up your own hammer and help it along, you know. We can actually, for example, if we wanted to help it out, especially for breaking slag, we actually break slag faster than the helve hammer does, but we can do that. And that. And there we go. We got a finished ingot already. And then if we wanted to make a plate, we just select iron plate, throw that down, and you can see the helve hammer is going to start moving the metal for us. And it can go through it pretty quickly. That's why I don't worry too much about having... I like the 4 helve hammer setups, where you have like one here, one over here, one over there, one over there. So all 4 of them banging on it. Because each time each hammer drops, it does an operation. So you're basically making your stuff about 4 times as fast. But one helve hammer can make 2 ingots, then turn those into a plate just fine, generally. And bear in mind, we're going to speed this up just a little bit more once we get the resin. And then we're going to have 8 helve hammers running on this side. Possibly more, but 8's what I've planned for. And then if I need to squeeze in more, I can, you know. It's just about to finish up that plate. There we go. And then we can throw on this. So this way I can make plates without having to actually even touch the metal. You know, I can have the helve hammers do it. So, a little bit slow at the moment, but it'll get faster. And it just makes making plates in mass, especially when we can do 8 plates at once. Just pour those out. It's going to make lighting stuff up a lot faster. And then as far as making things like armor, it speeds that up immensely. Because even though we can't make the chain on that, we can make the plates. We can turn plates into chain. And I promise, whenever we have a bunch of these running, it's going to be noisy and beautiful and just great. To me, it sounds like a forge. This is how a forge should sound like. You should constantly hear that hammering of metal. And a lot of times, I've spent my time setting up the 4 times speed. And I just don't feel like it's worth it. I feel like I can get, even though it's 4 times faster, I still feel like I get better output having just single helve hammers across the board. Because once everything's set up, I can fire up all these 8 forges, have these going, and then I'm almost making an ingot as fast as I can move down the line. You know, a little bit of waiting time, but it's just constantly ingots pouring out. And it makes more use of our wind, I feel like, to just throw those out. Because we can process down, you know, we've got 8 bloomeries, and that's basically 6 runs. 6 ingots. The speed this is crafting, we'll be able to process 8 bloomeries. So we can turn over ingots extremely fast once we get everything set up. Okay, I'm going to process these for just a little bit. Give me a second, and then we're actually going to make ourselves an anvil so that we have one too. Okay, it is just finishing up the very last iron ingot. There we go. Okay, now at this point, we're going to take the anvil from our helve hammer, and let's set it up here. Let's go ahead and load this up and load this up. And we're not going to run it right this second because we have a medium temporal storm coming in. But what we're going to do is let's go ahead and take 3 of our iron ingot. The wrong one. I want these in the filled one. We're going to go ahead and take 3 of those. And we're going to take our iron plate that we made, and we're going to toss this in the other one. That's only got a couple pieces of charcoal in it. Because what we're going to do at this point is, the helve hammer's great, but with only 1 anvil, it's very, very, very limiting. And of course, I don't have a lot of bronze. So we're going to make our very first high tier anvil, which is going to be our iron anvil. Oh yeah, these are... Ooh, I forgot about them. I was busy. And oh, this is, yeah, solidified. Okay. I was worried about that. I totally forgot. Okay, I should be able to get this. But yeah, the helve hammer is going to be a lot more useful when we have another anvil. So that way it can process ingots while we turn them into pickaxes and things like that. Because I'm going to need to make a bunch of tools again here soon. So I'd like to go ahead and make another anvil. So we're going to be making our very first high tier anvil, which works a bit differently, of course. Just like we can't pour iron into molds to make tools, we can't pour iron into a mold to make an anvil, you know. It works a little bit differently. We're actually going to have to weld it. So let's go ahead. I think we got time to pop over. I need to get just a single piece of powdered borax. All right, we'll get us some borax going through the kiln. And then I'm going to head back and get ready for the temporal storm. And then after that, we'll do our anvil. I'm going to leave it recording in case anything interesting happens during the temporal storm. I'm going to try to kill, you know, some stuff. Okay, our temporal storm is coming in now. So, like I said, I'm going to leave it recording. But hopefully we get some gears. Hey. Oh, we got a double header. He's got to be, yeah, there we go. Oh, hopefully we get lucky. 6 rusty gears off that one. Trying to just sift through all the trash drifters right now. Because I'm getting a lot of trash ones spawning. Oh, there's 1 rusty gear. Now, it wasn't that great of a temporal storm for me, unfortunately. But let's go ahead now. And let's fire this up. And this up. That one doubleheader was the only one that showed up. I killed about 6 nightmare drifters, but none of them dropped anything more than flax. So basically, when it comes to making the anvil, you're going to have to make a bottom and a top. So we're going to be making both of those. Both of those pieces are going to take 5 ingots. But for the bottom, I do tend to like starting with a plate because it just makes it a little bit easier. Because it's a fairly big, flat start to it. And then what's left, you can just kind of wind in. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab our bottom out. We're going to put that on there. We're going to choose anvil base, iron. And let's go ahead, this right here. Actually, no, I'll wait. I'll just go ahead and toss that onto there. Let's go ahead and turn that. And then let's go ahead, bring these up. Now what I like to do here is take this first ingot and run it out to kind of fill in these side areas. And basically I'm just going to kind of flatten the space here before I add another ingot. And that way we can fill in kind of some of these like little side areas here. So, and whatever you do, don't just take all your ingots and throw them on at once. It's a whole lot easier to do this kind of an ingot at a time. And then we're going to grab our very last ingot. We're going to toss that on. And we're going to bring all this down. And then I got to take one of these. We turn it around, you can see there's no missing voxels here, and so then we're just going to cut away the extra. There we go. And I'm going to put that into there for right now. We're going to try to keep this hot as we move forward. And then let's go ahead and get ourselves 5 more ingots. Let's load this one back down. And we're going to put 3 into this one. And then we're going to put our other 2 into this. Now we'll probably throw this back in once we empty out this forge. We're going to keep that anvil base hot. Otherwise we have to heat it up later. It doesn't have to be like super hot. Like we could let it cool a little bit. But we do want to make sure and just kind of keep the temperature up on that. It just makes our lives a little bit easier here in just a moment. So, and technically, since I'm doing these back to back, I could have thrown some ingots into the first forge and got that going, but I'm not too worried about that. I did go ahead and make another helve hammer base, so because I could afford it. That was pretty much all I could afford. I was like, well, I got 1 piece of resin. Let me see what I can do with it. So I was like, helve hammer base. And we're going to be doing the anvil top at this point. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to basically just start off with heavy hit on this one. And basically all we want to do here is just kind of flatten this out a little bit. Now you can put your anvil up a little bit higher, you know, if that helps you out. I don't do that really. It's a little hard to see with all the voxels, you know, whenever you're first getting started on it, but you kind of know where the voxels are though, so throw that on there. And I'm going to throw this back into here now. Go ahead and keep that hot. And let me throw a little bit more charcoal in there. We would probably be fine without throwing more charcoal in there, honestly, but we're not hurting for charcoal. I mean, I can make more, you know. Not a big deal. Okay, so for right here, I'm going to go ahead and heavy hit. Okay, and I think that's all clear. Let's go ahead, grab another one. And with this one, you want to be a little bit careful because you really don't have like voxels to spare. And take your time. The anvil top, it's one of the hardest things probably that you'll smith. Generally, it takes a little bit of attention, to say the least, but it's not too bad. Just take your time with it. And at this point, just to make sure we don't lose, because if you put too many ingots on top of each other, you will end up losing some voxels sometimes. Or at least I know that's how it used to be. So we're going to make sure and just pull all the voxels off the very, very top of this. And start filling in the edge over here at this point. So the worst thing you can do on this one is rush it and end up wasting like basically having to use another ingot to do it, because I've done it before. It's not a good feeling. Okay, now right now this is too cold to work, so I'm going to go ahead and put it back in there and just heat it up a little bit at this point, and then we should be all set, because we're just about done. I've got everything kind of smoothed off on the top, and then we've got our last ingot heated up, and then I'll move the base back over to this side. Takes a little bit of charcoal, but it's all right. I don't mind using a little bit of charcoal just to take my time and make sure I don't waste ingots. So, all right, so we're going to throw that on top, and here we go. This is the last bit of our anvil. That is one thing, though. I absolutely love smithing the anvils because it feels like you're really working on something big, because it does take a bit of work. Now, if all goes well right here, we should be done in just a moment once I bring all this down, and it is looking good. Alright, now we just take the down, and there we go. There is our anvil top. Go ahead and, well, I'll go ahead and throw that down. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put down our base. These do have to be hot. We're going to put a little bit of borax on there, throw our anvil top on, and then we're just going to hammer this down. Basically, the borax is we're going to use that to weld it, the top to the bottom. And there we go. We got our very first crafted anvil for the series. Yay! At this point, I'm going to go ahead and flip these around. I want the iron anvil. You can have the the bronze anvil. And now at this point, I can process ingots and then take them straight to my anvil to forge them into picks and things like that. So what I'll probably do is keep the ingots that we've already got made as ingots. Keep those for making, you know, say another anvil or something like that. First time this during our winter, mainly because I don't like being drunk on the job, and I've been on the job non-stop. But we are going to have our first bits of spelt ale to kind of celebrate and enjoy the end of winter. I should have just picked up the bucket and just... but this is adding to our fruit group. Now you will notice my head starting to swivel because I am starting to get a little bit drunk at the moment. As we drink this, it's not very nutritious, but that's okay. We drank half a bucket of ale, so we're going to be feeling it. But anyways, I know it's wrapping up point for this episode, so we're going to end this one out here. Next episode, when we come back, we're probably going to be kind of starting into some of the New Year's projects. We might be doing some resource gathering. We're honestly going to be heading down into that big cave that we found in the last episode. We're going to be heading down there pretty quickly in the New Year as well. And we're probably going to hit up some traders. So kind of do some of our really early spring stuff in the next episode or two. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out, and I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys then.